Shalom. My name is Moreh Ishiyah Yisrael from the House of Israel in Cincinnati, Ohio, 2330 Kemper Lane, bringing to you in 40 minutes or less. In 40 minutes or less, I will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt the word of Yahweh. Who is this Yahweh? Yahweh is the creator of the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all that is therein. Yahweh is the Elohim of our fathers, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yisrael, whom you may know as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yahweh is our judge. Yahweh is our lawgiver. Yahweh is our king, who will save us. In today's program, we will discuss the moon made for seasons. And we will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt the very seasons that Yahweh, according to the scriptures, made the moon for seasons for. And we will do this in 40 minutes or less. And everything we bring to you, it will be 40 minutes or less. It don't take long to prove the truth. The unadulterated word of Yahweh. Not if you're looking for the truth. Yahweh will let you know what the moon is exactly made for. And I may add, it's not made for the holy days, as you have been taught. Nor is it made for your months. And we're going to start our discussion in the book of Psalms 104. Psalms 104. And this is what it says in the book of Psalms 104. And we'll start reading at the 19th verse. This is what it says. He appointed the moon for seasons. And what our people do, they stop right there. And they say, well, the seasons must be the holy days. Since these are the only seasons Yahweh, or the only days Yahweh calls seasons. They're appointed times, they're set times. Well, that is false. And we're going to bring to you the seasons, the set times, the moedim of Yahweh. But he appointed the moon for seasons. The sun knoweth his going down. Thou makest darkness, and it is night, wherein all the beasts of the forest do creep forth. The young lions roar after their prey and seek their meat from Elohim. The sun ariseth. They gather together themselves together and lay down in their dens. And this is what you're going to see. That this moon, when it comes out, is made for one thing and one thing only, for man. Now, I know these scientists, the heathens, the nations would tell you all sorts of reasons why Yahweh made the moon. And you can believe them. But if you want to know the truth, Yahweh is going to tell you exactly the season that he made the moon for. And he's going to define the moon and tell you exactly what it means. And it don't mean a month. In the book of Genesis, the first chapter, And as we've been doing before, giving you at least 7 witnesses, we will do the same here. And you probably will have more witnesses than that. But in the book of Genesis, the first chapter, this is what it says about the sun, moon, and stars. And particularly, what I want you to pay close attention to is the moon itself. And watch what it says. In the book of Genesis, the first chapter, we're going to start reading at the 14th verse. And Elohim said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, for seasons, for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth." And it was so. And Elohim made 2 great lights. The greater light to rule the day, and we know this to be the sun. And the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars also. And Elohim set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth, and they do. To rule over the day and over the night, they do. The sun is the light by day, the moon is the light by night. The sun has dominion over the day, the moon has dominion over the night. And to divide the light from the darkness, and they do. The sun goes down before it is night, before it is dark. And although you might see the moon in the daytime, it has no authority, it has no rulership, it has no dominion, which means it don't mean anything. Because its rulership, its authority, its ordinances is for the night, which you will see. And Elohim saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the 4th day. And brothers and sisters, I'm going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that everything that we show you concerning this moon is not going to deviate 1 dot from what we just read. And Yahweh is going to tell you how you should see the moon. First thing you notice about this is that it's called the lesser light. That's what it actually means, not month. Our people think the moon means month and the month means moon. And you'll never see that in the scriptures, ever. They will tell you that they're synonymous with one another, and they're not at all. As a matter of fact, our first scripture is in the book of Jeremiah, the 31st chapter. Let us turn there and watch what Yahweh say about the moon. So you can see what I'm telling you is the truth. And I may add, we will do this in 40 minutes or less. Jeremiah 31. This is what it says in the 35th verse. Thus says Yahweh. How many times we got to bring you, thus says Yahweh, before you believe, thus says Yahweh, which giveth the sun for a light by day. That's what Yahweh gave the sun for. And the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night. That's what he made the stars for. That's what he made the moon for. In other words, when it comes to the sun, we're not confused. When it comes to the stars, we're not confused. But then as soon as we get to the moon, then all of a sudden we get confused. And why? Because we're going by other people, other nations that believe something other than what Yahweh told us in his word, which divided the sea when the waves thereof war. Yahweh enforces his name. Now watch this 36th verse. If those ordinances depart from before me, in other words, what he designed and made these lights for, says Yahweh, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. No, these ordinances are sealed, but in truth, they're not sealed in your mind. They're not sealed in your heart. You're doing things with the moon that Yahweh never, ever told you to do. Witness number 2 in Jeremiah 33. And this is what it says concerning the moon. And we're going to start reading at the 19th verse. And the word of Yahweh came unto Jeremiah, saying again, this is what Yahweh said. Thus says Yahweh, if you can break my covenant of the day, and he's going to let you know what his covenant of the day is, and my covenant of the night, he's going to let you know what this covenant is, that there should not be day and night in their season. Because little do people know, the moon was made for seasons, but so was the sun. But the sun, the season of the sun, is the day. And the season of the moon is the night. You'll never read that the season of the moon is holy days. That don't exist in the scriptures. Watch what it says. Then may also my covenant be broken with David, my servant, that he should not have a son to reign upon his throne, with the Levites, the priests, my ministers. Yahweh is not going to allow this to change just because you want to believe the moon is made for everything. It's made for your months. It's made for your years. And if you don't see the moon, you can't determine nothing. This is heathenistic talk. And the Almighty told us in the book of Jeremiah, the 10th chapter, that we're not to follow the heathens. Furthermore, the third witness is in Psalms 121. And Yahweh will explicitly tell you what this moon is for, as he already has. Psalms 121. And I may add, you won't see nothing in the scriptures that would deviate from what we're telling you now. Nothing at all. Psalms 121. This is what it says in the 5th and 6th verse. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. And why is it keep telling you the moon by night? You can see it in the daytime. But why isn't Yahweh connecting the moon to the day like you do? Connecting the moon to the months like you do. But every time Yahweh talk about this moon, he connected to the night. And every time he talk about this sun, he connected to the day. So why aren't you connecting the very thing that Yahweh said in his word? Also, in the book of Psalms 136, Yahweh said the crooked things shall be made straight. And there's a lot of crooked things that have to be straightened out. In the book of Psalms 136, watch what it says. And we're going to read the 7th, 8th, and 9th verse. Watch what it says. Psalms 136. To him that made great lights, and he only made 2 great lights, according to the scriptures, for his mercy endureth forever. The sun to rule by day, for his mercy endureth forever. The moon and stars to rule by night, for his mercy endureth forever. And if you just rule by night, how can you then be considered the ruler of a whole month? And all you rule is the night. Your only authority is at night. The various ordinances that you were designed by is for the night, not for the month, like you're being told. Also, the 5th witness in Psalms 22. In the book of Psalms 22, let's see if Yahweh will deviate and tell you something else. In the book of Psalms 22, we're going to read the first 2 verses, and this is what it says. My El, why hast thou forsaken me? Why art thou so far from helping me? And from the words of my roaring. O my Elohim, I cry in the daytime, but thou hearest not. And in the night season, and am not silent. Because the night season is totally opposite of the day season, the daytime. And there's a difference between day and night. And we must come to that understanding. But whether we do or not, we're going to tell you the truth. And we will be speaking on day and night. In the book of Job, the 6th witness, Job 30. And this is what it says. In the book of Job 30, and what are we discussing? We're discussing exactly what the moon is made for. What seasons did Yahweh say the moon is made for? And all through the scriptures, it would tell you the season of the night. In the book of Job 30, 17, It says, my bones are pierced in me in the night season. My sinews take no rest. Because there is a season of the night. And guess what controls that season of the night? The moon. And why? Because the moon is for seasons, the night season. The seventh witness in the book of Deuteronomy 16. Now, watch this. Watch how peculiar this scripture is. Here it is. Our people, they will tell you about this crescent moon, this sliver of light. It's so important that Muslims wear it on their hats. They have a moon and a star on their hat. I don't know why, because Yahweh said the moon and the stars, he made them for the night when the beast creep forward. So I don't understand. They will have this moon and stars on their temples, places of worship. Even though these symbols that we see every night is made for the night. So I don't understand that unless it's part of their worship. And that's against the laws of Yahweh. We have Hebrews that have these symbols in their congregations. I don't know why. Because these lights, these two very lights, are made for the night. Well, watch this in Deuteronomy 16. Because at any point, at any time, Yahweh could have inserted any of these night lights. You know, today, it is dark in the room. They made night lights where you can just plug them up and have a little light. It's called a night light. And that's what Yahweh provided for the whole entire world, a night light. In the book of Deuteronomy 16, this is what it says in the 6th verse. Or we'll start reading at the 5th verse. Thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates which Yahweh thy Elohim giveth thee. And when is the Passover? The Passover is the 14th day of the very first month at eve. In other words, as soon as the Passover is right before it gets dark, right when the sun is going down, right when the moon and the stars are supposed to come out. But watch what, and that is the time of the middle of the month. Watch the 6th verse. But at the place which Yahweh thy Elohim shall choose to place his name in, there thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at even, at the going down of the sun, at the season that thou camest forth out of Egypt. In other words, this is a holy day, the Passover. And you notice, people will tell you how the moon is made for the holy days and you got to see the moon. And Yahweh never mentioned the moon in relationship to his holy days. Not one time. But we can see the sun mentioned. He said, look, during the Passover, at the going down of the sun, you're the sacrifice. And why? Because all sacrifices take place in the daytime. There's no sacrifice that take place at night. They all take place from the time of morning to the time of evening. So why would Yahweh mention the moon when it's a light by night? And Yahweh never did. Not for one holy day. None of them. Matter of fact, we don't have a holy day that begin at night. All our holy days begin in the day because evening is a part of day. So none of them start at night. None of them. And we will prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt in 40 minutes or less. That was the seventh witness. And I just want to deal with one more scripture in the book of Psalms 81, because this is another scripture that our people go to try to say this is where Yahweh was talking about the moon for the holy days. And you're going to see they're not telling you the truth. In the book of Psalms 81, this is what it says, starting at the very first verse. Sing aloud unto Elohim our strength. Make a joyful noise unto Elohim of Yaakov. Take a song. Bring here the timbrel, the pleasant harp with the psaltery. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon. You see how they translated this new moon? In the time appointed, on our solemn feast day. And brothers and sisters, in this third verse, this word comes from the Hebrew word Kodesh, which simply means month. It don't mean new moon at all. And the translators know it don't mean new moon. And you will see this word new moon translated various different certain places in the scriptures to make you believe, to make you think it's talking about a new moon. It's not talking about a moon at all. It says in the fourth verse, for this is a statute of Israel and the law of the Elohim of Yaakov. And what is the law? The law, what is the statute? The law and the statute is that you got to blow the trumpet in the beginning of your months. Not in no new moon. New moon is never the beginning of the month. How can the new moon be the beginning of a month when it comes at night? And I know many of our brothers and sisters believe that a day begins at night. And I will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that it don't. But if you believe that, I can understand. Now you fall on the moon at night because it is a night light. But those who believe the truth, that a day starts in the morning and your moon come out at night, how can that be the beginning of anything? And it comes at night. This is a total contradiction. And if you want to know the laws that Yahweh told you to blow the trumpet, you'll read it in the book of Numbers, the 10th chapter, where the Creator lets us know that we had to blow the trumpet up in the holy days. We had to blow the trumpet up at the beginning of our months. It never said the new moon. It said at the beginning of our months, as well as over our sacrifices. And let me see if we have time to read this scripture. Numbers, the 10th chapter, the 10th verse. I will just read this real quick. Also in the day of your gladness, in your solemn days, and in the beginning of your months, not your new moons, you shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings, over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your Elohim. I am Yahweh, your Elohim. Once again, 40 minutes or less. Until our next program. Yahweh love you, and so do I. Shalom.